Forget everything you thought you knew about pop stars. The glittering facade of fame often hides a fragile reality, where careers peak, then quietly fade. But then, there's Taylor Swift. She isn't merely a singer. She's an undisputed force of nature, one of the most strategically brilliant artists in recorded history, who has meticulously sculpted a multi-billion-dollar empire that stretches far, far beyond the melodic notes of her music. But how, from what seemed like a typical small-town beginning, did she ascend to become not just one of the richest, but arguably the most influentially powerful woman on the entire planet? What unwritten rules did she shatter? What audacious strategies did she employ, not just to build a career, but to transform her very existence into a colossal, self-sustaining billion-dollar business? And perhaps most crucially, what profound, actionable insights can we glean from the fierce, unwavering mindset that drives this modern titan? Prepare for a journey that will redefine your understanding of ambition, artistry, and the sheer, unadulterated power of a single visionary individual. Taylor Swift's saga began not with a bang, but with a whisper of fierce determination. As a wide-eyed teenager in rural Pennsylvania, she didn't just fall in love with country music. She became utterly consumed by it, convinced with every fiber of her being that her destiny was to be a star. But unlike legions of aspiring artists, who passively waited for that elusive big break, Taylor and her astute family concocted a strategic blueprint, a meticulous plan designed to wrench that dream into a tangible reality. At an impossibly young 14 years old, armed with a conviction that belied her age, Taylor did something extraordinary. She convinced her parents to uproot their lives and move to Nashville, not just any city, but the pulsating, unforgiving heart of country music. This wasn't a casual relocation, it was a calculated insertion into the very epicenter of the industry, maximizing every conceivable chance for discovery. Can you imagine the sheer courage, the leap of faith, both for a young girl and her family, to make such a life-altering decision based on a dream? It wasn't just hope. It was a proactive, almost audacious declaration of intent. But once in Nashville, Taylor didn't passively sit and wait for the phone to ring. Oh no. She immediately plunged into a relentless routine, honing her craft, pouring her raw emotions into her own original songs. She performed anywhere that would grant her an audience: coffee shops, dusty bars, local festivals, unglamorous showcases. While countless artists before her desperately clung to traditional methods of catching a record label's eye, often relying on cover songs and fleeting auditions, Taylor Swift carved a different, bolder path. Instead of merely hoping for a shot, she leveraged her truly exceptional songwriting talent, her deeply personal lyrics, her uncanny ability to weave relatable narratives, to stand out in a sea of hopefuls. This wasn't just singing. This was storytelling. This was raw, unfiltered connection. And the industry noticed. As a direct result of her undeniable originality and relentless drive, she secured that coveted record deal, releasing her groundbreaking self-titled debut album in 2006. It wasn't just an album, it was a declaration, swiftly catapulting her onto the industry's coveted radar. But even then, few could foresee the tectonic shift she was about to ignite. Her raw talent, her magnetic charisma, her disarming authenticity, these were undeniable. But what truly, fundamentally separated Taylor Swift from her contemporaries, what propelled her beyond mere stardom into a league of her own, was her utterly sophisticated, almost prescient strategic thinking. Unlike a multitude of artists who passively follow the directives of their record labels, content to be molded, Taylor Swift consistently maintained an ironclad, crystal-clear vision of the unparalleled empire she was determined to construct. She harbored no desire to be merely a famous singer, a fleeting pop sensation. No, she demanded and ultimately secured absolute, unyielding control over every facet of her burgeoning career, all while cultivating an almost spiritual, profoundly deep connection with her ever-growing audience. This wasn't about fame. It was about power through connection. This unshakable conviction became even more glaringly obvious as her music daringly evolved, and her personal brand exploded beyond anyone's initial expectations. She instinctively grasped that she could transcend the comfortable confines of country music, that a far grander, exponentially larger audience awaited her. This pivotal realization fueled her courageous, genre-bending transition, exemplified by her critically acclaimed album Red. It wasn't just a pivot, it was a calculated risk that paid off astronomically, a bridge meticulously built towards pop superstardom. Then came 1989, an album that didn't just cement her position as a global pop icon, but unequivocally proved she possessed the Midas touch, the ability to dominate any musical genre she chose to conquer. But here's the twist, the true emotional inflection point that set her trajectory into the stratosphere. Taylor's true turning point wasn't simply a clever musical reinvention. No, it was a profound, almost spiritual awakening to the unprecedented, almost sacred power of her personal brand and, more importantly, the fervent loyalty of her fans. She didn't just realize she could create music, she grasped that she could forge something far more powerful, something infinitely more enduring. She could transform her vast, diverse fan base into an extraordinarily engaged, deeply passionate, almost tribal community. This wasn't just about selling albums. It was about cultivating an unwavering devotion, where fans didn't just consume her art, but absorbed every intricate detail of her life, passionately championed her causes, and fiercely defended her every decision. This symbiotic relationship, built on authenticity and mutual respect, bestowed upon Taylor Swift one of the most loyal, influential, and financially potent fan bases in the entire, unforgiving music industry. This isn't just business, this is belonging, and it became her unshakable foundation. Armed with this rock-solid, emotionally charged foundation, she began to strategically expand her formidable business ventures far, far beyond the traditional boundaries of music. From multi-million-dollar brand partnerships with global behemoths to unprecedented, record-shattering world tours, every single calculated move she made was meticulously designed not just to grow her influence, but to exponentially amplify her colossal net worth. But the single most decisive, most defiant moment of her entire career was still looming on the horizon, a moment that would redefine her legacy and send a clear message to an industry that had, for too long, taken advantage of its artists. When she agonizingly discovered she didn't possess the rightful ownership of her own past, hard-won recordings, Taylor Swift executed a maneuver so bold, so utterly unprecedented, that few artists in the entire history of music had ever dared to conceive it, let alone attempt it. The stage was set for an epic, industry-shattering entire music industry. She would re-record her entire back catalog, not just a few songs, but album after album, releasing meticulously updated versions to reclaim full, undeniable ownership of her own intellectual property, her very soul. This audacious strategy wasn't merely a shrewd business move. It was a seismic declaration of empowerment, a powerful, defiant middle finger to the very forces that sought to control her creative destiny. It was an emotional rallying cry for her fans who not only revisited her iconic music with renewed fervor, but became active participants in her fight, transforming the act of listening into an act of solidarity. Taylor Swift didn't just prove that artists can fight for their own rights, she proved definitively that they can win. This monumental act of self-determination not only solidified her image as an unwavering champion for artists' rights, but undeniably confirmed her status as not just a performer, but a truly visionary businesswoman, wielding her power with precision and purpose. Now, as we speak, Taylor Swift stands tall as one of the wealthiest artists ever to grace the planet. Her multi-billion-dollar empire is a sprawling tapestry woven from record-shattering global tours that rewrite economic textbooks, strategic, high-value brand partnerships, incredibly shrewd investments, and perhaps most importantly, complete, unassailable control over every single note of her music. But what's truly astonishing, what truly captures the imagination, is that her influence continues its relentless, almost dizzying upward trajectory, and believe me, she harbors even grander, more ambitious plans for the future. So the burning question that lingers in the air, the one that everyone is whispering, How exactly is Taylor Swift orchestrating the expansion of this already colossal empire? What revolutionary moves is she meticulously preparing for the next few years? Could her brand, her influence, her sheer power swell to such unprecedented proportions that she legitimately becomes the most powerful artist of all time? Keep watching, because in the upcoming section, we are about to plunge headfirst into Taylor Swift's strategic next moves and dissect precisely what they signify for the inevitable future of the music and entertainment industry as we know it. Taylor Swift didn't just construct a multi-billion-dollar empire. She is relentlessly, ingeniously expanding her influence and business ventures in ways that are nothing short of profoundly innovative. While countless artists still rely almost exclusively on their music to maintain relevance, Taylor, with her razor-sharp strategic mind, consistently forges entirely new avenues for growth, systematically amplifying her already staggering wealth. Now that she possesses unshakable, absolute control over every aspect of her career, the pressing question isn't if she will continue to expand, but how she will continue to solidify her unassailable place as one of the most powerful, and indeed, enduring artists of all time. One of Taylor's most breathtaking, almost incomprehensible sources of income, a true testament to her unique connection with her fan base, is her monumental tours. Unlike a vast majority of artists who depend heavily on royalties and brand endorsements, Taylor has unequivocally discovered that her live performances are not merely concerts. They are an unstoppable money-making juggernaut. The Eras Tour, for example, didn't just break records. It shattered them into a million pieces, eclipsing $1 billion in revenue, thus cementing its place as the single most lucrative tour in the entire annals of music history. But what, precisely, transformed this tour from a series of shows into a global cultural phenomenon, an experience that transcended entertainment? Taylor, a true maestro of meticulous planning, strategically choreographed every minute detail. From the deeply nostalgic, emotionally resonant concept celebrating all of her iconic musical eras, a brilliant stroke of genius that tapped into collective memory and longing, to the intricately personalized fan experience, where every single Swiftie felt an intimate connection. The tour wasn't just a concert, it was a deeply immersive, almost spiritual cultural event. It made every single fan feel like an indispensable part of something truly colossal, something bigger than themselves, and she didn't stop there. With an audacious move that defied convention, she ingeniously transformed the tour into an even more expansive business entity by releasing the concert film in theaters worldwide, selling millions upon millions of tickets and consequently supercharging her profits to unprecedented heights. This wasn't just an afterthought. It was a masterful extension of the experience. But these earth-shattering tours, as monumental as they are, represent just one formidable piece of her ever-expanding empire. Taylor is also investing colossal amounts of energy and strategic capital into her personal brand, not just as a musician but as a lifestyle icon. Over the years, she's judiciously partnered with industry titans like Apple, Coca-Cola, and Stella McCartney. But now she's pushing the boundaries even further. She's actively embarking on releasing exclusive, highly curated products squarely under her own name, forging an even deeper, more personal connection with her legion of devoted fans. This signifies a profound shift. Taylor isn't just leveraging her image. She is meticulously transforming it into a full-fledged, all-encompassing lifestyle empire, where her influence permeates every aspect of her fans' lives. Another absolutely critical factor that unequivocally sets Taylor Swift miles apart is her unparalleled intelligence in leveraging cutting-edge technology and social media platforms to her formidable advantage. While a plethora of artists delegate their marketing strategies, often losing control of their narrative, Taylor maintains an intensely active, deeply personal presence across all her channels, meticulously controlling her own story and communicating directly, authentically, and intimately with her fans. This masterstroke fosters an almost visceral sense of closeness, of exclusive belonging, that precious few celebrities ever manage to achieve. Her extraordinary engagement skills possess the Midas touch, effortlessly transforming any announcement Any new release, any pivotal career move into a global pulsating event, meticulously generating billions of views, millions of dollars in sales, and an unparalleled level of fan devotion. On top of all this, Taylor Swift is demonstrating an increasingly fervent interest in highly strategic investments. She has already subtly hinted at and shown genuine interest in the dynamic film industry, the burgeoning streaming market, and even the lightning-fast world of tech ventures. With her proven, almost uncanny business acumen, it would be no surprise whatsoever if, in the coming years, she audaciously launched her very own entertainment platform, perhaps even an exclusive streaming service, or funneled millions into innovative, disruptive startups poised to redefine their respective fields. What's undeniably clear is this: Taylor Swift is far, far from done. What's truly, utterly impressive is that even as an undeniable billionaire, she persists in her relentless pursuit of growth, tirelessly expanding her empire with an insatiable hunger. But what's her next unpredictable move? Could she possibly ascend to become the single richest artist in the entire tapestry of human history? Might we one day witness Taylor Swift not just as a musical icon, but as a truly global entrepreneur whose influence eclipses the very boundaries of music itself? Or is she meticulously plotting something even grander, something so utterly unexpected that no one, absolutely no one, could possibly foresee it? What we know with absolute certainty is that Taylor is consistently, relentlessly, at least one step ahead. She always has been. And she continues to prove time and time again that genuine, enduring success isn't merely about raw talent, though she possesses it in abundance. It is, fundamentally, about astute, calculated strategy, an unwavering long-term vision, and the profound, almost alchemical ability to constantly, courageously, and creatively reinvent oneself. In the thrilling final chapter, we will delve deep into the potential earth-shattering impact Taylor Swift could wield on the very future of the entertainment industry, and how her strategic decisions might, in fact, completely redefine the entire world of music, film, and global culture. Keep watching, because trust me, this monumental story is far, far from over. Now I want to hear directly from you. Do you truly believe Taylor Swift can become the most powerful, most influential artist of all time, transcending even the legends that came before her? Or do you think she's already hit her absolute peak and her colossal empire might slowly, inevitably begin to decelerate? Pour your thoughts into the comments section below, and let's spark a vibrant discussion. And if you're eager to unlock the secrets to how brilliant minds like Taylor's operate, how they perceive opportunity where others see only obstacles, and how they transmute fleeting chances into lasting, monumental success, then I urge you to check out the exclusive link pinned in the very first comment. I'll see you ready for more insights in the next captivating video.